Hey folks, welcome to Brisbane, Australia. Boy, I have never been to Australia and I don't do a whole lot of flights in Australia, and it's really a shame. One of the reasons is, I like to fly in live weather, live time, live conditions, la la la. But today, with a little bit of artistic license, we are looking great. Hey, look at those clouds. This is called Three Big Layers by Floyds Clouds, and they are drop dead gorgeous. This is a Payware airport. I got it on the Sim Marketplace. I don't know who the author is. It's not ORBX. The airport we're flying to is Sydney, Australia. That is an ORBX airport, so we'll have a chance to compare the two and look at the differences. We are in the PMDG 737-700. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a Australian livery. So we're here with Pacific Southwest Airlines, which is based in San Diego, California. Or I should say, had been based in San Diego, California before they went out of business. They were absorbed by a couple of different airlines and eventually ended up as part of the legacy for American Airlines. So today you might find an American Airlines jet painted with this color scheme in honor of the old Pacific Southwest Airlines. Their old marketing slogan was "Catch Our Smile." And if you look underneath the flight deck, you'll see there's a little smile painted on the fuselage. So catch our smile with Pacific Southwest. But we are, you can see the Jetstar livery in the background, Qantas livery in the background. We are also artificial time. It's about 6 in the morning. Of course, it's winter in Australia. And artificial weather, Floyds Clouds, doing a great job. Artificial traffic. This is AIG traffic being injected. So you got a Qantas jet out on the... Got a couple of Qantas airplanes making their way slowly to the runway. Maybe one to the runway, one from the runway. But this is just looking spectacular. So let's hop aboard. As I mentioned, Brisbane to Sydney today. Let's have some Australian fun. Looks like we have ground power available, so we'll use it. First thing we'll do is we'll flip the guard and turn on the battery switch. Go to ground power. And I'm going to kick up some of these rheostats real fast. That one. That one. And let's do the big one. Where's the big one? Right, a dome white. Yep. Right, there we go. That's the big one. Position light is to steady. Let's arm the emergency exit lights. That way anyone in the cabin can find their way out. If we run into an emergency, and let's hold off on the rest of this until we get the fuel process started, because I know fueling is going to take a little while. Flight sim actions, ground services. Fuel truck. We're going to request a fuel truck, and our target is not 4124. I'm sure that's not enough fuel. We need 9091 on our fuel. Actually, let's just say 9200 and get things rounded up. Fuel truck is attaching. Oh, there's the fuel truck. He's actually not a fuel truck. He's a pumper. He attached to the ground source, it buried underneath the tarmac, and then he's going to run another hose to the underside of our wing. There he goes. Okay, so we should be getting our fuel here pretty fast now. Great. And let's push the start fueling button. Wonder why I can't start that. I don't know if it started or not. We should be set up for a jet bridge. Ground power should be coming from pit power. Don't know why we're not getting our fuel. Let's do it this way. Let's go 9,200 pounds, and then we will instantaneously have our fuel. I don't like doing it this way. I prefer to let the process handle itself. Speaking of that, one other thing I was a little disgruntled about. I like realistic on the alignment time. Okay. We have our fuel. Let's get back to the aircraft. Position strobe light is on. Fuel pumps are off. Engine valves are closed. Crossfeed is closed. Sources are normal and auto. Navigation is to normal. Secondary control switches are guarded. Yaw damper is off. We can do a leading edge flap and slat test. Oh, what's going on here? We don't have battery power? Is that what's going on? We don't have ground power. Is that what's going on? Oh, request ground power. There we go. Okay, connecting to ground power by way of the jet bridge. Is the jet bridge attached? Oh, the jet bridge is not attached. We need that jet bridge. That sky is looking better and better. Thank you, Floyds Clouds. We have our power. Crossfeed Valve open, goes dim, crossfeed off, valve open, goes off. Crossfeed valve check is done. Yaw damper can be left off for right now. Flaps and slats, leading edge slats and flaps test. Oh, did we forget to turn on the ground power? Ground power. There we go. There's ground power. You can hear the fans come on in the background. Okay, leading edge flaps and slats. Leading edge devices. Slats and flaps. And that test is fine. Let's get the IRS system aligned. The left system align nav. The right system align nav. We'll spin this lower dial and we'll get a time. 8 minutes in the align process. Crew oxygen is fine. Passenger oxygen is normal and guarded. We'll set up the number 3 radio for the VHF frequency, the nav1 frequency, the marker beacon, and the PA. And I'm going to set the speaker into the PA position to make cabin announcements. Flight recorder is set to normal. Mach airspeed warning test. Stall warning test. This takes some time, so these may not be ready quite yet. But we'll check it out. Nope, not yet. I have to come back for those. Wipers are off. Exhaust gas temperature gauge is reading 0 as the APU is not running. The generators are on ground power. Standby power disconnect switches are guarded. Battery is getting 31 volts DC. It's reading 28 volts. Ground power is being supplied at 115 volts AC. That is fine. Seatbelt sign is off. Chimes are on. Attend button works. Can't really tell the ground call button. There's no one on the ground to test it out. We are venting to the atmosphere, so the pressure gauges read 0. Cockpit voice recorder test. Little green light means it's fine. Hydraulics are not actuated on the system. Wing ice, anti-ice, and engine anti-ice are off. Probe heat is off. Window heat can come on. Supply duct, passenger cabin is reading 20 degrees centigrade. That's fine. Air conditioning switches are in the auto position. We can turn the PACX to auto for right now. Get the recirculating fan to auto. Isolation valve to auto for right now. We'll go to dual bleed. We won't need it yet. And the altitude here at Brisbane . I'm surprised all of these Brisbane 4 departure is a vector departure. Airport elevation 15, that's what I was looking for. Landing elevation 15, just in case we need to come back to the airport. So 15 is about sea level. We'll leave it right there. I don't know what our altitude is. So that'll be as assigned. Okay, and that takes care of upstairs. So, let's do an autopilot test. Oh, let's do a lights test. Every light in the house. And I'm told that if the kitties come aboard, this is a nice little switch to hit to impress all the kitties. We are checking every light, every bulb, every filament. They're all on for display for our viewing pleasure. Lights test can come off. Do autopilot tests on the pilot flying side and an autopilot lights test on the pilot not flying side. What happens if I hit this system test button? Nothing. Wonder why. Okay, how about an oxygen test? There's a couple of buttons here. There's this one. I don't really know what that one does. That one might release the mask. That button releases the mask, and this one tests the oxygen. There you can see the oxygen test is fine. We'll do a test of the fire test system. That's fine. We'll do a test on check for fire. That is fine. We'll do a test of the fire bottles for the APU. And the fire bottles for the engine. Engines 1 and 2. We'll do a test for smoke in the cargo area. And that all tests fine. Wonder why my systems test won't work. At least not quite yet. We'll have to give it a try later on. Did we ever get those stall warning tests upstairs tested? There we go. Stall warning 1, stall warning 2. That's fine. Radios. VHF 1, nav 1, marker beacon. Number 1 radio on the pilot flying side, number 2 microphone on the pilot not flying side, VHF, nav 1, marker beacon on that side as well. Transponder can be turned to standby. Kick up some of these rheostats here in the lower panel. And I believe there are a couple of more rheostats down here I can crank up. Brakes to RTO. Hold off on the flaps until we're pushed from the gate. We can turn the flight directors on. I do not like turning the auto throttle on until we are at the runway. I like to have my display set at 40 miles. And let's feed the beast. Feed the FMC, flight management computer. Here's the beast. So, menu, FMC. We are flying a Boeing 737-700. Our engines are rated at 24,000 pounds. Our AIG cycle is expired, but not by much. We'll do a position initialization. We'll set our IRS position from one of our two GPSs. Really doesn't matter which one. Well, usually they'd be the same. In this case, they are slightly off. That's a little unusual. We'll put that right in there. Our reference airport is... Boy, if I flew in Australia more often, I would know what airport we're at. We are at YBBN. YBBN. Brisbane. On the east coast of Australia. Heading down to Sydney, down in the south. We are at gate number 24. And there's the 7.3, so we know that our position is pretty good. And our destination is YSSY. Was that what it was? Let's take a look. YSSY, yes. Mine like a rubber bear trap. Oops. Okay, what happens if I hit flight plan request? What will happen? Nothing. I don't have anything for it to pull. So next page. And let's pull up our routing. Our routing is SANEG, S-A-N-E-G, and then it's H91 to Corky, and then it is H12 to TSAT. Then how about direct to Sydney? So that is our routing. Activate. And departure arrival. Departure is going to be on the no SID, and the runway is Well, right now it's showing 19 left, but I don't think the winds are going to favor that. Uh, 19 left. I think our wind is from the northwest right now, so one right or left would be better. And from one right or left, it's the... Don't really want that. Be in 4... Waco 3. Waco goes west. BN4, just the Brisbane 4 is radar vectors. So the Brisbane 4 will be our departure runway. And while we're here, we might as well look at the arrival. Again, wind will be from the northwest, so 3-4 left or 3-4 right are most appropriate. And Marlin comes in from the water. Odale comes from the southwest. Rivet from the southwest. Bora 3A is the one that is most lined up with our arrival. So Bora 3A it will be. Okay, so BN4 is what we're looking for. And the runway is 01 left. And let's go ahead. Now again, if it were a longer flight, you might not do this. You might hold off until you're in the air. But we can always change this. Nothing is written in stone. 3-4 left to the ILS. And it was Bora 3, I believe, was the routing. And execute. Let's look at the legs page. We have some vectoring here going on. Just for the sake of the computer, I'm going to take our first solid waypoint and move that to the head of the class, since the rest is just radar vectors. We have a discontinuity that we'll get rid of. And we have some radar vectoring at the other end, which is fine. We've got some vectoring at the other end. Wonderful. Let's go to performance initialization. Our fueling is done. Zero fuel weight should be 48,884. Reserves. Okay, reserves are reserve fuel and alternate fuel. Contingency fuel. I added in contingency fuel as well. So, let's see here. 2,200 plus 2,800 is 5,071. 5,071, so it's 5.7. Cost index is a company figure. This was calculated with the cost index of 54. We are now, the computer has already estimated our most efficient flight level as 393, but we are calculated to fly at 380, so pretty close. 380. And what was the wind at that altitude? Had it right here. 260 at 7.5, ISO deviation of positive 7. 260 at 7.5. N1 limit. How about a D-rated takeoff? We're at 24,000 pounds selected. We'll go to 22,000 pounds with the Climb 1 profile. Lap setting can be 5. Center of gravity. Trim is 5.66. You folks who watched me in earlier videos, you know I had some major trim issues. And I don't know how they got rectified, but one day, suddenly, they were rectified. Now the trim wheel still moves kind of pokey slow, but at least it's moving. We're aiming for 5.66. And that's about right. Just right there. Let's verify these V-speeds. And our beast has been fed. I don't believe there's anything left on the beast. How we doing? Are we ready to run a checklist? But before we do that, I think I'm going to fire up the passenger program called PACX. Okay. Wonder if it's going to recognize if I put in QFA 43. QFA is the code for Qantas. I'm wondering if it's going to recognize that Qantas code. So let's find out. Let's see how smart this program really is. is equipped with Wi-Fi, has an entertainment system. Passenger count is, what is the passenger count? 99, that is correct. 99 passengers. And you can play the boarding music. And of course, I love my United boarding music. And custom safety brief, safety demo. And all I have right now is American and American, Delta, and United. I like the American one, so we'll play that one. And this flight number does continue. Oh, nope, don't need customs. We're all within the country. And you can hear the pitter-patter of little passengers in the background. Meanwhile, we need to think about running a checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Tested.
Navigation, transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Window heat.
On.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Flight instrument.
Okay, we don't have the flight instrument set because we haven't got a clearance yet. We should probably get a clearance. Brisbane clearance delivery. Qantas 4 tree, ready to copy. Brisbane clearance delivery. Qantas 4 tree, ready to copy.
Qantas 43 is cleared to Yankee Sierra Sierra Yankee. Fly the Thanx 1 departure, with the Thanx transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 19 left. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 133.45. Squawk 6003.
Qantas 43 is cleared to Yankee Sierra Sierra Yankee. Fly the Thanx 1 departure, with the Thanx transition, then as filed. Climb to 4,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Departure on 133.45. Squawk 6003.
Qantas 43 rear back correct. QNH is 1020, contact ground on 121.7 when ready for pushback. Enjoy your morning.
QNH is 1020, ground on 121.7, Qantas 43.
Okay, she got me a little confused because I thought the winds were favoring runway 01 and she gave us 19. So 19 it is. Winds change. The mood of the controller changes. But we're now going to runway 19 left, I believe she said. And now that we have that heading and the altitude, and our V2 speed, of course, V2 is 133. Now we can finish the rest of that checklist.
Heading set, altimeter set.
Parking brake.
Parking brake is on.
Set.
Fuel control switches.
Cut off.
Checklist complete.
Okay, 4-star checklist is complete. MCP panel has been set up. FMS has been set up. Brisbane is looking fantastic in the morning sun. While the rest of the passengers are loading, we might as well get our full money's worth from the scenery and check it out a little bit. What do you think? Oops, not that one. I don't want that one. I want... Come on, baby, where are you?
Just at 763 on Foxtrot, cross runway 12, taxi hold at Foxtrot 5, minimum delay plus Delta, thanks.
Thanks, Foxtrot, cross runway 12, holding point Foxtrot 5, copy, jet 763.
So we have a ancillary terminal or a satellite terminal over here, and looks like there's a light rail that connects these two terminals together. Parking garage. It's either a parking garage or a rental car facility. I would imagine it's a rental car facility. And then you can access the main terminal. By light rail. See how well they've done in modeling this airport from the ground side. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Now we're on the light rail platform on the ground side. Australia. Now, if this says domestic train, I wonder if the terminal over here is for international travel, if that's how it's delineated. What's going to happen if I go to this platform? Whoa. Brisbane International, okay. I need to set this controller so it's not quite so sensitive. Well, I'm unable to really tell if that says something like international there at the platform. But all in all, I am happy with this Payware airport. And let's get back to our aircraft and see how our boarding process is continued.
29. 6215 Adelaide ground, g'day, behind the Jetstar A320, taxi by Kilo to your bay.
On the A320, taxi by Kilo to the bay, JetX 215.
Are we almost done boarding back there?
We're still boarding. Let us know if you need anything.
6 minutes left.
Is there any chance we could expedite the boarding?
We'll see what we can do. No promises.
Okay. 6 minutes left in the boarding. Looks like my lower display is inoperative, which means I don't think I'm going to be able to do a proper flight control check.
Ground, good morning, velocity 214, bay 13, request Pushback.
Velocity 214, ground today, bay 13, Pushback approved.
Bay 13, Pushback approved, velocity 214.
We're ready to go when you are.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, let's talk to the folks on the ground. Let's get that door closed. Jet bridge unattached. Okay, there goes the jet bridge. The door is closed, and I'm hoping that they armed the slides.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead, flight deck. Confirm all ground checks complete. We're cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
All ground checks are complete, and you are cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We will be ready shortly.
Roger.
Do have to remove the chocks. Oh no! I removed the chocks and I killed the power. That's not good. Forgot to have the APU running. Darn it. Maybe I can get this APU started before the airplane notices.
675, good day, late ground, taxi via Lima to Bay.
Wow, let me go there, 675.
Turn the anti-collision on. Exhaust gas temperature reading is falling into the normal range, operational range. We have APU and we are on the APU. Okay. Ooh, yaw damper on. I don't know if emergency was averted or not, but it was certainly embarrassing. PACX off. Isolation valve open. PACX off. Bleed air. We have dual bleed. Isolation valve open. Okay, PACX off, dual bleed. And we're sort of ready for engine start. Let's get that push. Oh, we need to ask for a push, don't we? Brisbane ground. Qantas 4-3 requests pushback and engine start.
Qantas 4-3 pushback and engine start approved.
Pushback and engine start approved. Qantas 4-3.
And we're having problems with our pushback control handling the parking brakes. And we've had that issue before, but now this time I'm prepared for that issue. So let's use the pushback here.
520, apologies, we're going to have to start reducing speed now.
No, that's fine. It's just the jets are lining up behind you, but you've done well.
Thank you, 520.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start, tail straight out. Roger that. Ready for push straight back. Brakes off. Brakes released.
Welcome aboard. Before we depart, here are some important safety instructions. First things first, let's buckle those belts. Insert the metal end into the buckle and pull the strap to tighten. To open, simply lift on the top of the buckle.
Before start checkout.
And remember, seatbelt should be
Flight
fastened
deck
whenever you're seated,
Closed and locked.
just in case of unexpected turbulence.
1. Niner.
To get us on our way, make
Kilograms.
sure your seat
Check.
is up,
Passenger
all
sign.
electronic devices are put away, and your tray table is stowed. If you have a carry-on, push it all the way under the seat in front of you. If it won't fit, place it in the overhead bin.
Set.
MCP.
If you have a handheld
VG,
device, please
0.
switch it to
Heading,
airplane mode
0.
now.
Altitude 0.
You'll find our full
Takeoff speed.
electronic device policy
Set.
in the back of your American
briefing.
Way. U.S. law
Completed.
prohibits
Rudder and
smoking,
aileron trim.
including electronic
3 and
cigarettes,
0.
at any
Taxi
time.
and takeoff
Tampering with,
briefing.
disabling, or
Completed.
destroying smoke
Anti-collision
detectors
light.
in the lavatories may result in a fine. U.S. law requires all to comply with lighted and posted signs and crew member instructions. Now let's review the safety card. Please pay close attention, and before you know it, we'll be off. All exits on this airplane are clearly marked. Take a moment to locate the nearest one. Keep in mind, it may be behind you. All exits have evacuation slides to use in an emergency. When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. Some slides may also be used as a raft, except those over the wings. You'll find the exact location on your safety card. This aircraft is designed with escape lighting on or near the floor. A sign will indicate you have reached your exit.
On.
Checklist complete.
In the event of an evacuation, escape path lighting will appear. Follow the lights until you've reached your exit. Leave all carry-ons behind, just head quickly and safely to the nearest exit, and don't forget, it may be behind you. Now, if the airplane loses pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. While remaining seated with your seatbelt fastened, pull down on the mask to extend the tubing. The yellow cup goes over your nose and mouth like so, then slip the band over your head to secure the mask to your face. The band adjusts automatically. Normal breathing will start the flow of oxygen. And remember to always put your own mask on first before helping others. Life vests are located either under or next to your seat. To remove the vest, pull the tab or compartment. For help locating them, see your safety card. Remove the vest from the package like this. Put the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach the buckle, and pull tight. Once outside, pull the tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube on the side. In the water, a light on your vest will illuminate. And please, only inflate your vest outside the airplane. Now, your seat cushion may be used as a flotation device. Just remove the lower cushion and put your arms through the straps found on the opposite side. The crew will now be coming around to do a final cabin check. After takeoff, we'll be back with more information. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. To make your flight great. Because great is what we're going for.
Okay, well,
We're prepared for takeoff.
we had a problem with the main pushback system, the Pushback Express, and now we're having a problem disconnecting from the integrated pushback system. So how do I get this pushback tug to let me go? Still attached. I can't get him to let go. Well, I wonder what will happen if I just start taxiing away. Brisbane ground. Qantas 4 Tree requests taxi runway 19 left.
Qantas for free taxi for runway 19 left via taxiways Charlie 2, Bravo, Bravo 4, Alpha, Alpha 1, hold short runway 19 left.
Taxi to runway 19 left via taxiways Charlie 2, Bravo, Bravo 4, Alpha, Alpha 1, hold short runway 19 right Qantas 43.
Okay, let's try to do a flight control check. Aileron full right, no binding. Aileron full left, no binding. Elevator up, no binding. Elevator down, no binding. Full deflection. Rudder full right, no binding. Full deflection. Rudder full left, no binding. Full deflection. So flight control check is fine. Let's do a brake check.
Course 79 ground, g'day, taxi by Kilo to Bay.
Kilo to the Bay, class 39.
We have our taxi instructions. We just are attached to a tug, which is inconvenient. What can I do to release this tug? There we go. I got rid of the tug. I don't know how I did it using this pushback tool that never was part of the pushback process. But I got rid of the tug. Need to back up just a little bit here. I think my parking brakes are on. No, they're not. Well, we're just going to try to hit this corner. Well, my flaps are down way too far. They only should be at 10. Runway 19 should be ahead of us. Oh. Okay. Get our flaps back up to 10.
We're ready for the Q1
Or were they? I believe they were at 5, weren't they? 5 was correct. Flaps 5. That's what I was looking for. Flaps 5. Brake check.
Taxi checklist. Generators.
Whoa. Now that we're on the engines, we need to get the fuel pumps on, get the aircraft on the engines, and turn off the APU. Continuous on the ignition switches. Hydraulic power can come on. Probe heat can come on. PACX can come back on. Dual bleed can come off. Now we're looking better.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Set.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Flight controls.
Check.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist. Flaps.
Set.
Stabilization trim.
Set.
Checklist complete.
So, departure briefing, taxi briefing. We are on the taxiway. Goodness. Okay, we were parked at 24 right here. We got a pushback. We turned to the right, and now we're on taxiway Alpha, all the way down to 19 left. That is our taxi briefing. I'm sorry it's so abbreviated. And our departure is on the Brisbane 4, which is a radar departure. On runway 19 left, track 196 at or above 6,000. Not before the end of the runway, turn to a sign heading or track. When directed, contact departures for radar vectors. So basically, radar vectors off the runway. That is our taxi briefing and our departure briefing. We've finished our taxi checklist and our takeoff checklist. My only question is 19 left or 19 right? We're supposed to be at 19 left. I'm afraid it might be 19 right. And then Lucy got some splaining to do. I can't tell if this is 19 left or 19 right. Left. Yes, this is where we
Contact tower
want
on
to be.
118.0. Have a good morning.
Cleared to cross runway 19 right, tower on 118.0 quantals 43.
Okay, we're here at 19 left.
Johnny Hotel 5 for Hubbard 5 outbound with the waiver if it's required. The traffic to Zulu, Connect.
Brisbane Tower, Qantas 43, ready for departure, runway 19 left.
Qantas 43 windows are 199 at 5 knots, cleared for takeoff. Runway 19 left, squawk 6003.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 19 left, squawking 6003 quantals 43.
Qantas 43 climb and maintain flight level 120.
Climb and maintain flight level 120 quantals 43.
We have our takeoff clearance. We have our squawk code, which is now in the TA traffic advisory and traffic resolution mode. We are ready to go. Auto throttle arm. And since our D-rated takeoff is in the profile, I'm hoping that the toga switch will put us on our D-rated takeoff. And toga is right there.
Airspeed alive.
Airspeed alive.
3 knots. V1, rotate. V2.
Positive rate.
Positive rate of climb.
Qantas 43
Landing
turn right,
gear.
heading 189er. Then intercept course to Scenic, then as filed.
Heading 189er to Scenic, then as filed quantals 43.
Landing gear down. Landing gear up. Landing gear down. Landing gear up.
Qantas 43 contact, Brisbane departure on 133.45. Have a good one.
Departure on 133.45 quantals 43.
Flaps 10. Flaps 15. Flaps 25.
What's going on here?
Flaps 30. Flaps 25. Flaps 15. Flaps 5. Flaps 2. Flaps 1. Flaps 0.
Ooh. Took a little while to get that squared away. Had some control issues with the landing gear. Had to rectify there. RTO can go to normal. Continuous fire can come off. Landing lights can come off. The first officer did all the lights on her own. Position and strobe can go to strobe.
Fantasy for 3 climb and maintain flight level 200.
Climb and maintain flight level 200 Qantas 43.
Unfortunately, our routing today takes us all over the land. There's downtown Brisbane to our left. Brisbane is a port city and Sydney is a port city, but
Passing 10,000 feet, transition altitude.
4,000 feet is transition altitude. That's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet.
Or
You
10,000
can now turn on
feet,
your
rather.
larger portable electronic devices. As a
Fantasy
reminder,
for 3
please
contact
keep
Brisbane
your seatbelt
Center
fastened
on
while you're
130
seated. Do
decimal
not
4.
congregate in the
Enjoy.
galleys or near the lavatory.
Center on
This
130
aircraft is equipped with
decimal 4.
onboard
Take
Wi-Fi.
care
If you
Qantas
wish to connect to the
43.
Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our
Center
partners.
Qantas
Connect to
43
the
climb
Wi-Fi
into
to find
flight
out more
level
information.
200.
I did
Qantas
not.
43, good morning. Radar contact.
I had forgotten we had fuel in the center tanks, so the center tank fuel pumps were not on. This was yellow, so I turned the center fuel tanks on. And now that we have our landing altitude for Brisbane, which was 15 feet, I'm sure our landing altitude in Sydney will be pretty darn close to the same. So let's go to YSSY. And pull up the charts. We are on the not the
4117, Brisbane Center, climb 24037. Climb final 370, velocity 117.
the Boree arrival.
Qantas 43, climb and maintain flight level 280.
Climb and maintain flight level 280 Qantas 43.
So we're on the Boree arrival, and the altitude at Sydney is 21 feet. So we do not need to change our altimeter setting in a pressure window for the pressure system. This is 3,600 feet. But the landing altitude can remain the same, and of course it's in auto mode. We can turn off the dome light. Oh, Floyd, thank you, thank you, thank you. The more I'm seeing with these clouds, the more I am loving it. The immersion level is just kicked up so high. They are, they filter the air so that you know that you've got some atmosphere, and yet they're clear enough not to obstruct the ground views.
Qantas 43 climb and maintain flight level 350.
Climb and maintain flight level 350 Qantas 43.
Got a little traffic ahead of us, below us.
Sure, can I get any descent for level 190? Level 190, contact 60.
That lower display does work.
Qantas 43 contact Brisbane Centre on 120.3. Have a good morning.
Centre on 120.3 Qantas 43. Centre Qantas 43 climbing to flight level 350.
Qantas 43 good morning. Radar contact.
12, descend, flight 19 at 0.
19 at 0, 1.5 12.
Looks like 3,500 feet is going to be top of climb. So let's go ahead and change that pressure window. Reaching our top of climb.
Flight 51 on flight 120.
Ticket 551, Santa G'day, climb to flight 160, over delays and third climb due multiple crossing traffic into Brisbane.
Flight 160, Seagulls, 551.
Qantas Force contact Brisbane Centre on 134.2 enjoy your morning.
Centre on 134.2 Qantas 43. Centre Qantas 43 climbing to flight level 350.
Qantas 43 good morning. Radar contact.
You're cleared to start your cabin service. We'll do our best to make the service as smooth as possible.
We appreciate it.
Seatbelt sign is off. We'll let the cabin crew know that they can start their service.
Do you mind brining me and the captain a cup of coffee?
No problem. We'll bring it right up.
Okay. That's a good first officer. Knows when her captain needs coffee. 110.10 on the frequency, 335 on the course. We're going to have a flaps 40 landing. Flaps 40, 128 on the reference speed. 110.10 on the frequency, 335 on the course. And course are in there. We're going to have a radio 200 foot on the radio altimeter. It will be decision height for class 2 or class 3 landing.
Good over Blue 153, calling flight level 182.
Rusty 153, Lieutenant Good Day, calling flight level 350.
Top level 350, Velocity 153.
Runway 34 left. Left on the ILS. We're looking at a standard 3-degree glide slope. Initial fix is Sausage. Final approach fix with the Maltese Cross is at Rhett at 1,900 feet. Sausage at 3,000 feet. .335 is indeed the course, and 110.1 is indeed the frequency. So that all looks wonderful. Parallel runways. .34 left from Moree, track 158 to Basra. Basra above 8,000. Befro below 9,000. Ovals 158 to Gentle.
We'll be starting our in-flight meal service. Please look in your seat back for our menu, and one of our crew members will stop by shortly for your order.
Right.
If you'd like to order additional menu items, you may hit the flight attendant call button at any time, and we would be happy to.
181 to Zonka. Expect radar vectors to final. Above 8,000 at Basra, below 9,000 at Biro, Gentil, Zonka, and expect radar vectors from Zonka.
In a control headspace, I'm heading up to 60, climb 2, flight level 220. Yeah, climb 220 and heading up 260, Echo Whiskey Golf.
reserve fuel. Oh no! We must have made a little mistake on our fuel planning, didn't we? And by magic, you've got more fuel. Ha ha ha. Standard pressure. No, standard pressure. Looks like cruise is going to be 350 instead of 380. Again, not determined by me, but determined by air traffic control. We would have been 380 if we're up to me, a little more efficient. A little faster. Quite a radar return we're getting with these clouds. Looks like we're about to penetrate some visible moisture. So let's turn on the wing and engine anti-ice systems. Thank you, Floyds Clouds. Too many times I use live weather and I get clear, clear, clear skies. It's actually very nice to have something other than perfectly clear skies.
Quant à Fourtry, contact Brisbane Center on 127.2
Center on 127.2 Quantars 43. Center Quantars 43 at flight level 350.
Quantars 43, good morning. Radar contact.
I'm looking for ATIS for Sydney, and I don't see it. They've got some unusual terms here. YSSY. Radar Director, Operations. That's not it. Info.
Ground, good morning again. Velocity 778, pay 20. Request.
Oh, there it is.
Kingsford Smith Information Hotel, 1330 Zulu. Winds are light and variable. Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition VFR. Temperature 12, dew point 10. Current QNH is 1021. Arriving and departing runway 34 left, 34 right. Kingsford Smith Information Hotel, 1330 Zulu. Winds are light and variable. Visibility 6 miles. Sky condition VFR. Temperature 12, dew point 10. Current QNH is 1021. Arriving and departing runway 34 left, 34 right. Kingsford Smith.
We have ATIS.
Center Qantas 43 at flight level 350.
Qantas 43 radar contact.
Should be reaching top of descent here pretty soon. Are you ready for a descent? Let's finish up in the cabin. Let's get the seatbelt sign back on. And do a descent checklist.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
Set.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
Set.
Landing data.
Check.
Approach briefing.
Completed.
Checklist complete.
Our first altitude on our procedure is 8,000 feet at Basra.
ILS set.
Qantas 43 expect the Bor 3 Alpha arrival with the Boeing transition for the ILS approach to runway 34 left at Kingsford Smith. After Sadlo cleared direct Boeing.
Expect the Bor 3 Alpha arrival with the Boeing transition for the ILS approach to runway 34 left after Sadlo cleared direct Boeing Qantas 43.
Okay, after Sano, we're cleared direct to Bori, so we can go to Bori from Santo.
Qantas 43 contact Brisbane Centre on 127.1. Have a good morning.
Center on 127.1 Qantas 43.
Okay, So after Sadlo, we
Center
can clear
Qantas
direct
43 at flight level 350.
Qantas 43 good morning. Radar contact.
Continue on, United Continental 380.
Over 380,
B row. Basra is 8,000. B row is below 9,000. Above 8,000, below 9,000. So those constraints are already in our routing.
Qantas 43 contact Brisbane Center on 124.8. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 124.8 Qantas 43.
So
Center Qantas 43 at flight level 350.
Qantas 43 good morning. Radar contact. Qantas 43 descend to cross Bori at flight level 160, then descend via the Bor 3 Alpha arrival with the Bori transition to 7,000 feet. QNH is 1021 at Kingsford Smith.
Descent via the Bor 3 Alpha arrival with the Bori transition to 7,000 feet. QNH is 1021 Qantas 43.
We've been cleared down to 7,000 feet, which means we own all the airspace between 35,000 and 7,000. Indicated airspeed, 250 knots indicated airspeed.
290, let's go.
Of course, indicated airspeed will change as we descend. Yeah, the actual speed will change. The indicated will stay indicated, but it will mean a different speed the lower we get. And once we're at 250, we'll resume our descent. Most of the time, you folks have flown with me with the PMDG. You know I let the aircraft decide the profile for the descent. But this time, we're controlling it ourselves. Yes, I am a fan of the eyebrow windows. I think one of the biggest mistakes the airplane manufacturers ever did is to remove the eyebrow windows. I know they probably save a couple of pounds, but not only do they give you that little extra human out the window visibility, but they just add to the cool factor. You know, sometimes when things aren't broken, don't change things just because you have to change things. And the window eyebrows was an idea that was not broken. Eyebrow windows. Yeah.
Goes 551, climb level 240. Climb 1240, 551.
Looks like quite a bit of quarrying in this area, just outside of Sydney. A good number of quarry operations. I wonder what kind of minerals come out of the ground. Could it be just coal? I'm imagining coal. I live in St. Cloud, Minnesota. We are famous for our granite. Good number of granite quarries. here. But that looks like coal to me. A lot of it. A lot of quarries.
Looks like we're in for a bumpy ride. We're going to go ahead and suspend the cabin service. Can you make sure everyone's seated with their seatbelts on?
We're on it.
Looks like we're re-entering the clouds. I don't think I ever turned off my anti-ice wing. Yeah, engine anti-ice and wing anti-ice are still on. So that'll be ready for us when we re-enter the clouds. Here's our turn at Corey. I believe it's Corky.
323, wind rate is 10 to 8,000, QNH 1023. 8,000, 1023.
Quant à 43, contact Brisbane Center on 125.7 Ava, good morning.
Center on 125.7 Qantas 43. Center Qantas 43 descending to 7,000 feet.
Qantas 43, good morning. Radar contact.
We may have lost our PACX program. Doesn't seem to be responding.
descent 9,000, QNH 1023. 9,000, QNH 1023, what's the 36?
the US, we would be coming upon transition altitude, but I think that happened at a much lower altitude here. I forgot when it happened on the way up. Might have been 10,000, might have been 4,000, I don't remember. But we'll hold off on transition altitude for a little bit. Oh, we're getting a indication to switch from the airplane, so the airplane must know. So we'll switch to standard pressure. We'll switch from standard pressure, I should say. I don't know what the local pressure is, but I'm sure we'll get it with our next radio communication.
39, climb level 240. Level 240, below 39.
Above 8,000 restriction at Vastra. Try to give VNAV back to the aircraft, and looks like it's a little more difficult than just that.
Joint 403 data, descend 8,000, QNH is 1023. 8,000, 1023, killing 403 dollar.
Still well above profile, but again, we're managing the descent, not the aircraft. As long as we're above 8,000, we're fine. We've got a below 9,000 coming up. If we're not looking like we're going to make 9,000 before we get there. I'm going to add some speed brakes. Help us out a little bit.
Qantas 43 contact Sydney approach on 124.4. Enjoy your morning.
Approach on 124.4 Qantas 43. Approach Qantas 43 descending to 7,000 feet.
Qantas 43 good morning. Radar contact. Continue descent via the Ball 3 Alpha arrival, for the ILS approach to runway 34 left at Kingsford Smith.
Continue descent via the Ball 3 Alpha arrival, for the ILS approach to runway 34 left Qantas 43.
Okay, below 9,000 at B row. We might just make it.
Approach, g'day, Qantas 416 on descent 10,000 with, we had November. 416 descend via the star 9,000, 34 left, expecting independent visual approach. 9,000 plus 34 left, Qantas 416.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Okay, you can hear the flight attendant.
Transition altitude.
Transition altitude, and she turned on our lights.
We have begun our final descent
for landing.
Sydney. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time.
And our PACX system is back on.
And seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
And we're not far off of our computer calculated profile, even though we're doing managed descent ourselves. We're below 9,000 feet. Coming up on target altitude. I'm starting to hear the Morse identifier of our ILS, and that's because we selected marker down here. Had we not selected marker, we wouldn't be hearing that. At least I thought I heard it. Maybe I was just imagining. I don't imagine the engine spooling up as we're maintaining 7,000 feet. not sure how much of the Opera House and the Inner Harbor we're going to be able to see. Again, we're coming in from the land. It might be Sydney Harbor just ahead to our right, downtown Sydney. I can't make out much detail. After these next two waypoints, we might expect some radar vectoring. It looks like a harbor of some sort. I bet that is Sydney Harbor. I cannot see the Opera House.
Shooting 41 Delta, turn right, heading 16 rapid airline.
So our constraint is 6,000. We've been approved on the procedure, so I'm going to bring ourselves down to 6,000. Above 6,000 at Zonka. As long as we're flying the procedure, we're okay. There's the airport to our right. Can't see it out there. Oh, there's, yeah, okay, we're right over it. There's the airport right there. There's the terminal building. But, if we get radar vectors, that's fine. If we don't, we know how to get there without them. We're at our new target altitude. We're right in our calculated profile. 3,000 feet at Sohish. Let's reduce our speed to 190. Let's get down to 3,000 feet.
Glide slope alive.
Glide slope alive. Thank you. Once we're down to 190 or once we're below 200, we'll get our first notch of flaps. comes 200. Flaps 1. Bring the speed to 170.
Flaps 1.
Once we're below 180, we'll go to flaps 2. Flaps 2. Speed down
Flaps
to
2.
150. Let's go to flaps 3.
Flaps 5.
Speed down to the reference, which is 131.
Flaps 10. Flaps 15. Flaps 25.
Approach today, Chemical 403, Delta from the Stand by the Star, 8000 received, X-ray visual. Chemical 403, Delta, approach today, expect runway 01 right, descend by the Star to 5000. Stand by the Star, 5000, Chemical 403, Delta.
Flaps 40.
Gear down. That alarm we're getting is a configuration warning.
Landing gear down.
Switches to continuous fire.
Qantas 43 turn right heading 170 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 34 left at Kingsford Smith.
Heading 170 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 34 left, Qantas 43.
Actually, I know she means well, but I'm going to continue on our computer path, and I'm not going to follow her vectors. I know she means well, and I love her, but I'm going to continue without her vectoring. Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Engine start switches.
Continuous.
Speed brake. Landing gear.
Speed brake is armed. Landing gear is down.
Down.
Flaps.
Set.
Checklist complete.
Oh, traffic. We have traffic. I don't see the traffic. Oh, there it is. Right ahead of us. Gorgeous, gorgeous. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? Yeah, there's the conflict, all right. Wow. How beautiful is that? I'm loving it, baby. I'm loving it. It's RMD approach. Dual autopilot. Here's a localizer coming in. We have localizer. We're coming in to the glide slope from underneath.
425 opposite 8000 with X-ray, we're visual. 425 approach today, expect runway 01 right, descend by star to 5000. Descend by star to 5000, final 425.
We're capturing the glide slope from underneath. Should be at 1900 by Adoret. But that shouldn't matter because we already have the glide slope captured. For some strange reason, the track is not showing the ILS capture. But the ILS capture is coming from ground sources, so that's much more reliable. This is dependent on our IRS alignment, and something could have been messed up with our IRS alignment. We're a little bit below the computer calculated track for us, but that's okay. It's coming back into line. We're on our reference speed.
Radio altimeter.
We have our radio altimeter alive. And it's showing pretty much the same as our pressure, even though we don't have an updated pressure setting. I wonder if we're going to get landing clearances. We decided not to follow the vectors, so the controllers may just be fed up with us, and they're not going to give us a landing clearance. That could happen. Wonderful boat traffic. Low fuel light came on. We're getting auto land. Okay, auto land. We're on glide slope. We're programmed for the flare.
In 403 Delta, cancel the star track for right base, runway 01 right, and descend to 4000. Star track for base runway 01 right.
Fuel is for the center tanks. We're running out of fuel in the center tanks, that's all. We still had fuel, it's just we ran out of, we're low on fuel in the center tank. So that's why we got the fuel warning. We have plenty of fuel. Strange that this is still a little bit off, but we're certainly not off according to the runway. And I'm going to do, I haven't let the co-pilot do any of her flows yet this flight, but I'm going to let her do an after landing flow when we get on the ground.
500.
So she'll start the APU. She'll get the flat. She'll do everything, I'm imagining.
400. 300. Approaching minimums.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Reverse thrust. Speed breakout.
On the reversers.
100 knot. 80 knot. 60 knot. Reverse idle.
Reverse off. Oh, a little bit of rain. It's very cool. Thank you, Floyds Clouds. This is wonderful. sometimes it's distressing when you land in the exact same weather you took off in.
Welcome to Sydney. The local time is 8:59 a.m. and it's currently about 17 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bin.
Check to 800, descend 5,000, challenge from
This is your final
017.
destination.
5,017, just
You're making a
800.
connection. We encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Well, I never got any help from air traffic control, so I'm not going to worry too much about taxi instructions. Or even crossing runways. Once I deviated from the vectoring, air traffic control didn't want to have anything to do with me. Officer did a good job on cleaning us up and getting the APU started, getting the lights off. That was the only flow I allowed her to do. All the flows that we did before takeoff, I went ahead and handled myself. Hope no one is using this runway. I love the maritime, I love the marine traffic. There's a lot to love. This is the ORBX airport. So there's no lacking in detail from ORBX products. Sounds like there's an aircraft. Oh! Wow. I think it might have been Hawaiian Airlines. I'm not sure. A couple of Qantas cargo aircraft over on our right. But I see some jet bridges in our future.
Watch the ground speed.
Watch the ground speed, my first officer reminds me. Well, there's a friendly face from home in the American Airlines livery, but most of this is Qantas, Jetstar, Virgin Australia, other liveries that are known to the oceanic region. Looks like the international area is a little further on, so we're going to park here in the domestic side. One of these jet bridges will be working. first line is for the 3-7. Put it right on the mark. Right on the mark, baby. Right on the mark. Parking brake on. Let's make sure we are on the APU. I wonder why you're doing that. Is the APU on? The APU is on. And let's cut the engines. And maybe that jet bridge will come over on its own. Chocks. We're getting ground power. We're getting a jet bridge. I'll let the first officer do a shutdown flow, and you can see the shutdown flow. She sets some parking brakes, fuel control, sweet seatbelt signs, external lights, fuel power. 57 seconds until she establishes the APU. The APU is already established. Let's skip that. But that's her shutdown flow. There's the boarding music for the deboarding. Shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps.
Fuel pumps are off.
Off.
Brake heat.
Off.
Hydraulic panel.
Set.
Flaps.
Up.
Parking brake.
Set.
Fuel control switches.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
Checklist complete.
Well, I must say I don't know where that alarm is coming from, but we are secured. And I'm going to call that a good flight. Folks, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.